Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. There we go. There we go. So I want to speak on Elliot Holst, who I've mentioned a few times in the past. He made, or I think it was an older video he made. It's on one of his other channels called Yo Elliot Clips, I think. It's a younger version of himself from years ago, I think, and he's talking about this whole dark mother concept and how it destroys sons. and I mean, I get the mentality he's talking about. I get it, and I've never heard this terminology before, but it does make sense. And I can see how some people looking at my life and the things that I've shared, and see some correlation between that relationship, like that me having that relationship with my mother, and vice versa. And I mean, there's some truth there, but there's not as much as you guys might think. The biggest thing for me, where I feel like, and everything that I've gone, and first, before I say anything, I want to say this too. For those of us that were born in situations like, I mean, I've had both my parents my whole life, so I don't even know what it's like not to have both the mom or dad, or even both the mom and dad, but I have had that. But for those of us who haven't, or even if you've had parents and they haven't been there, it's all for a reason. 13 Son talked about this because he'd received comments and messages from people who were complaining about not having siblings and parents who were, doing a good job parenting, essentially, or what they thought a good job parenting should be. And 13's response was, you was put in that situation for a reason. Like, meaning if you didn't have a father growing up, that's probably because you have a very strong fatherly quality inside of yourself. So again, it goes back to my notion that nobody has anything harder or easier than anybody else. Like, we all have exactly what we need to grow. So even though there might be some truth in like the whole, my mom, whatever that whole dark mother shit is, in my relationship and even with my brother, that's not focusing on that too much, like identifying with that too much will give it more power. And at the end of the day, like, we here to fucking, in my opinion, we're here to grow and to enjoy life as much as we can, So, it's like, I've always kind of felt, to be honest, like I've been parenting my parents. I've just always kind of felt that way. So it's like, since I know that and I feel that way, well, then it's like, okay, maybe I didn't need all of the, parental instruction and love and guidance and care that other people did receive. Now, that doesn't mean that that's not stuff that I can still learn more about and get better at in the future for myself. And that doesn't mean I want to treat, if I have kids someday, I'm definitely going to learn from what I consider to be, lessons or mistakes that I saw happen in this family. I don't want to repeat them onto my offspring if I end up having children. But, at the same time, I don't, it's just, again, the labeling, that's what gets me. Like, be careful with the labeling. Like, even if somebody did grow up that way, that's not all who they fucking are. Just like if somebody was abused sexually or any other type of way, that's not all who they are. And the more that they associate with just that abuse and continue to hold on to that abuse, the more they're allowing that abuse to have control over them. So it's detrimental in a number of ways. And it also perpetuates a victim mentality, which keeps you in a lower vibrational frequency, and it keeps you from acknowledging where you are right now and your ability to, accept what the fuck's going on with you, and to move on, in whatever way, in a healthy way or an unhealthy way. It's up to you to choose. But another thing I want to share too, like for me, what I've learned, like to be extremely therapeutical in any situation, in whatever type of relationship you have, even if it's just somebody you meet on the streets, is just learning to communicate with people and to really be honest in your intent to communicate with them and to listen to what they have to say, and if you're not in a mode to listen to what they have to say, tell them. Be like, dude, you know what, man? I just gotta tell you right now. I know you're coming off with a lot of stuff, but I'm not in that mode to be able to hear you right now. And I don't want you to waste your breath, and I don't want you to think that I'm really caring right now when my mind's just elsewhere. It has nothing to do with you. I'm just like, my mind is so heavily absorbed in something else. I just can't even really absorb what you're telling me, which is fine because you're just being honest, because we're sometimes, listening to people can be very exhausting sometimes. It's not easy, like to really listen to somebody, to really, essentially just be there for them to absorb whatever information they want to give to you and take yourself out of the equation, because you kind of have to do that in order to really listen. You can't be judging shit and trying to analyze stuff and criticize things and like try to counter people and make up your own mind, You really just, to really listen is just to really just to do that, just to listen, not to judge, not to make any type of preconceived notions or to correct them or any type of these things, just to hear somebody out, and that's something that both my parents have never really done. There's been many times when I was sitting down here in my room or in some situation similar to all this and just doing nothing but getting really fucked up and being really sad. And my parents never took the time to like really come in and like figure out what it was that was eating me up inside. Like to take that initiative to be like, Brian, what is this inside of you that keeps wanting to kill you? Like why do you keep destroying yourself?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, can I